Hey everybody, welcome to today's live stream. So today we're going to be working on the handle for that mallet that I turned on Saturday during the virtual Makers Day. And I got a link to that just in case you didn't see it. We were doing hand chased threads. I was making a mallet, but I wanted to kind of share the hand chased threads because it's something that's kind of cool. I've been kind of looking at it for a few years, and I finally pulled the trigger and bought the Carter & Son tool, and I decided I tried it out and it worked fine. You can get pretty good results. I think it's pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory as long as you have an understanding of wood turning in general. It's something that you could probably use for quite a few different types of projects. So I decided to make a mallet handle and a head. So I got the mallet head on the lathe. Let's see, right there. And I went ahead and polished it up. I only sanded to 1,000 grit on the stream. But I didn't really like that because you couldn't really see inside. So, and it still could be buffed. I just kind of took it to the buffer while it was still chucked up. So pretty much have this done. We just need to part this off first and then shape the handle. So it shouldn't really be too tough, although for some reason I'm dragging today. So we'll see how far we get. But anyway, yeah, so this one's a Blurple mixture. So I'm excited to get this thing shaped and polished. The color shift powders work even better. It's already round, but adding kind of more curves to this thing I think is going to really make the color shift pop. So, and I put the link up there. That was my demo for the live Makers Day if you missed that. It was pretty fun. We had a good time. I kind of ended up having to hustle around, but I managed to get the female threads cut as well as the male. So you can kind of see it's super simple. It really isn't that hard. I think the big thing is, you know, with a little bit more practice, I think you can get your threads to be better. You know, you can get a better fit. But I think the big thing is you just really need to make sure that you get the diameter of the male side, the tenon. I think that's one of the most important things. All I did was use a Forstner bit, so I know that the walls were perpendicular and straight, and it's the right size there. Cut the threads and then go for the male side, and you just need to make sure that you're starting with the right diameter, and then, you know, put your threads in, and it works pretty good. So I'm pretty excited. So I'll take it over in a second, kind of thread it on there so you guys can see, just in case anybody missed the demo. So we also, last Friday, we made some blanks using, do I have any more? Yeah, I do. Thought we had a little bit. We cast some of this stuff in resin, and so we got pen blanks. I don't have my camera over here, so I'm just going to kind of hold them up. I know this camera is not very awesome, but it's not doing too bad today. So they turned out pretty good. The material isn't super, it's not super like sticking out at you. It kind of blends in, but pouring it over, you know, all these kind of holes and all this stuff, I really got a good color mix on these pen blanks. So it was kind of cool. So like I said, it's not going to be as like evident, like, oh wow, look at that crazy stuff you put in there. It kind of is a little bit, you know, just muted in there. You can kind of see it if you really look, but it really made the swirling pattern pretty cool. And then we got a bigger turning blank. You can't really see much in this right now. I wanted to cut the sides, but I just haven't got around to that. So this one's looking good. I really like the color combo. And then we did this guy. And again, you can't really see inside as much. I think maybe we maybe should have gone for a little bit more transparent, translucent. I think it would have popped a little bit more seeing that pattern. So that's something that we can maybe do down the road with the rest of this stuff, just to try it out. So I'm pretty happy with these things though. I'm excited to turn some. I think I'll probably turn a pen blank for sure. And then I'm not entirely sure exactly what I'm going to do with the other ones yet, but it was pretty fun. So good choices on the colors. And then I have one other little quick announcement, it's actually a little heads up teaser. So Sunday's video, it should be done, is going to be making a brass mallet. So this is a new product, and I'm kind of giving you guys the sneak peek. This is a new product that Stainless Bottle Stoppers is coming out with, and they kind of asked if I wanted to be part of the like pre-launch kind of test it out, tell us what you think kind of feedback thing. And so I made a little brass mallet. They got two sizes coming out. I decided to go for, I'm going to make another one, but I decided to do the big one first and shoot video while I was doing the turning. And then I don't think I'm going to do a video on YouTube for this one, but I'll post pics of the small one. So those are going to be launching Labor Day weekend. So I'm kind of giving you guys a little bit of a, I don't know, I don't know if I was supposed to tell anyone, but I am going to put a video out. So, and they know. And so we got Labor Day weekend. I don't know exactly which day it's going to launch yet. So keep your eyes peeled on Instagram and Facebook. I'll post whenever I find out exactly when they're going to go live. You can head over to stainlessbottlestoppers.com to pick them up. It's a really cool project. It's really fun to turn. And brass hammers or mallets are a pretty nice thing to have in the shop. I've wanted to pick one up for a long time. And it was one of those things. It wasn't super important. And my dad has some anyway, so it's not like I'm without a brass hammer. But I never really found one that I liked necessarily, and I just, I wasn't around and remembered when I saw them. So I was very excited when they said they were coming out with these guys. So that'll be coming up. So I'm finishing up the video. That should go up Sunday. So I got a video coming finally. It's been a while, but anyway, let me stop real quick and see what you guys are up to. Doug, I hope you're hanging in there, buddy. Michael Barr's here. Oh my God. This is like 2 weeks in a row. Glad to have you, man. Been meaning to actually reach out and see what's up, see what's going on. We'll have to chat sometime, see what the news is. Oh man, Steve and Alex and Amber's here, Klondike. Man, all kinds of people. Rob's here. Let's see, I'm probably missing half the people. I'm kind of scrolling quick. Billy. And of course, Doug's here and Exotic. Nice. Jen's here. Christina's here. Oh, yeah, Christina's is hump day. Yeah, in the middle of the week, it's like the hump, and we're in the middle of the hump, and then it's downhill from here, I guess. I think Jen said that actually too. So anyway, let's go get over on the lathe and start turning, cutting off the mallet head real quick, and then we'll see what's going on here. So I'm a little bit kind of bummed because I got up on the gigantic ladder to try to get rid of the brightness coming off of the lathe bed by moving the light that was kind of over the lathe, and it still didn't fix it. And I'm really... it was a sweaty, annoying job that didn't even actually work. So I think what I'm going to have to do is move that light somewhere else, I guess. So more climbing on big ladders coming soon. So I think what I'm going to do is, you guys will have to let me know. I think I'm going to put the camera kind of like here for now. And there might be kind of a glare off the lathe, off the bedways, but it's the best I got right now. So I apologize for that. I thought that I was fixing it, but obviously not. So what I'm going to do is I got a cone that I'm going to just kind of bring up while we're initiating the cut with the parting tool. You could put like a tennis ball in there. Another one that would actually be a pretty good way to go is the rubber chuckies. I think I'm going to try that out. Rubber chucky would be good for this one, so it's not going to mar it or do anything. Let's try the chucky. Sometimes these things don't like to run very true, so sometimes I shy away from using them. All right, so here we go. Let's get this rolling. One thing that I want to mention is I took this off. I unmounted or whatever, took it off the chuck to turn, and then mounted the handle part on. And that wasn't really a good idea. I wouldn't really recommend that. I would recommend finishing up the one thing and then move on to the next. But I was trying to get the male threads cut. So sacrificed a little bit of quality so we could actually see some results. So let's see how this is turned. I think I'm going to raise you guys up a little bit. You're a little bit kind of close there. I can raise you up a little. Here we go. I got to get my phone out too, so I can monitor the chat. Make sure you guys don't get unruly. All right. I had to switch my shoes. I don't know if you can see them. Can you see? Yeah. It's not Crocs and socks day. I had to switch them out because I was wearing the Crocs, and climbing a ladder with Crocs on, not really the coolest thing ever. It didn't really work. They're huge. So I couldn't even fit my feet on there. So I had to switch to the real shoes. These Morels, for anybody that's looking for comfortable shoes, Morels are pretty good. These kind of hiking style things, they always fit my feet pretty well. Let's see here. Go to YouTube. Make sure that I'm on the right camera. Yes, I am. Sorry, I'm getting the YouTube app open here so that I can kind of keep an eye on you guys in the chat. There we go. Broke her ankle. Ah. Rubber duck. All right, Jen, have a good one. Thanks for stopping in. The company that sells these, it's called rubberchucky.com, like CHUCKY. You're on your way to Kuwait? What? Oh my God. What is going on? Very hot today. Yeah, I know I'm over the heat at this point. I'm ready for fall to come. Okay, so I'm gonna have to get the scoop on why you're going to Germany now, or Kuwait. Why you're in Germany? I thought you were back. They got you. For anybody that doesn't know, Michael's in the army, and they like to send him all over the globe. Because he's the best. And you got to send the best when the best is what we need. Alright, so I'm going to use I have a thin parting tool. This is a really awesome tool. So this is another Carter & Son. If you haven't noticed, I actually have been kind of picking up a bunch of different Carter & Son tools. I really like this thin. This is a 16th inch parting tool. It is wicked awesome. It's really great, and it's thin, but it's strong because they kind of have this tapered kind of tang thing. So pretty nice tool. If you need a thin parting tool, a long one, really good way to go. And I'm going to be playing with, I bought a few different, I've been using Thompson for a while and they work fine, but I kind of was curious and I bought a few different Carter & Son tools lately. I bought the thread chasing tool. And I was like, you know, while I'm here, I may as well get some other ones. Try them out, see how they work, see what's going on. All right, so I'm just going to come in, and this is going to have to be very delicate, but I'm going to try and come in here. I'm getting really close to the chuck, but I think it's not going to really be that big of a deal. Come in here and just kind of part this off. Now, I'm not really concerned with getting this. You know, I really am going to have to clean this up, and I think what I'm going to do is probably, I don't know, maybe mount it in the coal jaws or something. I'm not sure. I could maybe try to figure out a way to hold it in the expanding jaws, but it'll probably screw the threads up. So I'm not entirely certain what I'm going to do yet, but I will need to do something with this the top. One thing that you can do, and I can't do it because the two pieces are all kind of off balance at this point. You can mount. You know, I could cut threads on a short piece and mount that in the chuck and then screw it onto those threads. That's actually one thing that you can do with that thread chasing tool is make threaded chucks, basically. All right, so let's get in here. I'm gonna back off real quick. I'm gonna put my fan on so that the shavings kind of blow away from my face. Just kind of taking my time here, get it down. I might end up just pulling out the saw because I'm really not interested in getting a bind with the parting tool. Let's see, I'm the other problem is now that I move that light, it's a little bit darker over here. So I can't really, so let me get my light, my bright light out so I can see what's happening in here. Yeah, I think we'll just cut the rest off. Shouldn't take as long as that one, that one time I was cutting something off. I think it's the safe way to go. So I'm going to move my tool rest. I always forget to do that. So let's come in here and we'll just do a little bit of sawing. Probably could have gone a little deeper than I did, but let's just playing it safe, guys. Playing it safe. I don't want this thing to break. Let's see here. Keep this. Oh, I lost my saw. Just wanted to make sure that I wasn't like too far through. Lost my saw. That's okay though. We've recovered. Suppose I should really just back this thing off. Get out of the way, Chucky. Get out of my way. Very exciting stuff here. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. Almost there. I think. Feels like we're almost there. There we go. Not too ugly, not too pretty either. So we'll deal with that thing later. I'm not that concerned with it. What I really want to do is get that handle going. So get this little chunk popped out of here. I'm going to switch the jaws to the smaller ones. Let's see here. Let me scroll down. I'm missing it. 80 at noon. Yeah, it's like in the 90s here too. Luckily, we don't have the humidity. Yeah, I agree. Pandemic and Kuwait. Really awesome year. Not fun. Man. Oh. Here we go. I'm going to do the extended jaws. It doesn't really matter, but they're fun. I don't use them as much. Okay, so let's get rid of the Chucky. We don't need that thing anymore. I'm going to use the actual center. All right, so let's see, where are we at here? Let me back off my tailstock even more. Even more. Okay, where's my... Let me just see how this thing's running. Pretty true. Not too bad. All right. Now, this is the head, the side that's going into the mallet head. And actually, before we get going, I promised you guys that I would show you how this thing looks put together. let's do that real quick. I can back off the tailstock, get all this stuff out of the way. So here's the fun part. So we got threads in there, and I hand cut these. These aren't particularly the most amazing things in the world. Not too bad though. Same goes for this, but they work pretty well. I went back in and did a little bit more work that on the inside of the threads on that, and it kind of made it a little wobbly. So I kind of made it worse basically, because it was pretty good off when I did it on the stream. But it's pretty cool. I mean, the thing is, you know, they aren't perfect, and that's fine, but they work. You know, that was the thing that I was curious about. So far, every attempt I've made at cutting threads has worked, you know. So here we go. So what I'm going to do is, let's see here, I'm going to pull out that mallet. I kind of have a mallet that I was kind of using for inspiration, I guess, on this piece. So I'll kind of sort of follow this. I'm just going to kind of put a little bit of curvature. Obviously, we don't have a thick kind of piece. I think this would actually be a pretty cool design for a resin mallet. I think having a little bit more strength right here is actually a pretty smart idea. But I didn't really want to have to take off so much material, you know, by using a blank that big up there. So I just decided to go for kind of thinner. But that's basically kind of what we're going to be going for. It's going to be a little bit shorter, but let's see here. So I'm going to put a couple marks on the blank real quick. I'm just going to kind of hold this here and look at it. Just kind of get an idea. So we're going to have kind of a wide area here. It's going to kind of flare out at the bottom. And then we're going to kind of dip in right there. We're going to have kind of a fat part there. And then it's going to kind of thin down a little bit. Let's say right there. So I'm just going to kind of keep those marks on for a second. Just to kind of have an idea in my head of what we're doing. Add some Teflon tape, that's true. Well, it's pretty tight. It's just they weren't, one of the parts is a little bit kind of wobbly. I'm not sure exactly what it is. So let's see here. Technically, I think I want the wider part. I'm gonna stop. I'm looking at this and I don't like where where I put those lines now. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of acetone and wipe off one of those spots real quick. That middle one. Get a paper towel. And it's like kind of off balance. I think I want it right kind of in the middle of these two. I don't know. Just winging it. It just felt wrong when I looked at that. Little acetone. Mistake is gone. All right, so now, like right about there. That looks a little bit more balanced. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Let me get the right tool out. So this is the widest part, so we need to come in. I'm a little high on my tool rest there. I think I still am. This is going to be one of the low points. And I'm going to flare it back out like that other tool was. I do need to kind of just true this up a little bit while I'm here. I'm just kind of winging it, like I said. If you wanted to, you could get real technical and get like specific dimensions for all these, you know, diameters, and then part them down to that diameter. I'm not that worried about it, you know. I kind of like just doing freeform stuff a lot of times. Now we need to kind of taper this around and then down. Making a mess, that's for sure. If nothing else, you can count on me to make a mess. That's looking decent. Let's work on the other side, see if we can kind of get everything matched up a little bit. Why doesn't my chat like continue down? It's so weird. Mike McEwen's here. What's up, man? Hey, Dustin, what's going on, man? All right, so we need to come in down here. All right, so we're a little bit fat on the bottom here. A little bit lumpy. We're kind of getting the general shape here, I think. Still a little bit lumpy. All right, I'm just going to take a few more cuts here, try and smooth things out as much as possible. But I think I'm relatively happy. The middle's a little offset, but I don't know. I'm going to kind of stop eventually and see how I like the way this feels in my hand. That's the most important thing. All right, let's see what we're working with here. That's actually pretty good. Feels pretty good in my hand. I like that. Maybe still a little bit kind of lumpy, so I got a little bit of finessing to do here, but overall I think that I'm happy with the general shape right there. Hey Nancy, how's it going? All right, I think that's pretty good. I'm just gonna, I can sit here and finesse all day, but let's just get this guy sanded and go for it. Milan! Is it Milan or Milan? I always screw that up. I'm sorry. I'm terrible about that. Quality stainless coffee scoops. Huh. I don't know. I don't think Stainless has them, but I think that you might look at Turner's. They might have stainless ones. I'm not sure. I should mention that to Stainless Bottle Stoppers. They might be interested in adding that to the lineup. All right, so I'm just going to take my parting tool out here and just kind of true this end up. So it's not vibrating around when I'm sanding. All right, I think we're good to go here. I think we're good to go. So I'm going to start sanding at 180 grit. I think that's a good choice. What came? I'm not sure what we're talking about here. Steve. Oh, the thumbs down. Yeah. People thumbs down all the time. That's cool. Maybe they didn't like the topic. I don't know. It could be interpreted in many different ways, I think. You know? I generally tend to start, you know, a couple minutes late. Maybe they thumbs down because they didn't want to wait past 3. You just never know. Just never know these days. So I got the lathe going about 300 RPMs or so. Somewhere in that general vicinity. And this is 180 grit. Just using Abernet. Probably switch to the, been pretty happy with the silicon carbide stuff. So I might switch to that once we get to around, I guess probably the next one, 240 grit. Just kind of do the rough. I probably could have even started. This was pretty, I didn't do a particularly amazing job on the surface of this. Lots of tool marks and stuff. Probably could have started at 120 even, but I think we'll get through it with the 180. Want to get everything nice and smooth. Get rid of those tool marks. I don't really have to worry, I don't think, about too much of this top part. It'll screw in past these threads. So I'm just going to kind of do a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about getting that all absolutely perfect. Mainly just want to get the part that's swooping out. Stainless coffee scoop. The problem is the stainless part. I'm just not sure. You might try Ruth Niles. She sells bottle stoppers too. I don't know if she has any ice cream scoop kits. But she does a lot of stainless steel stuff. You know, Penn State might have something. But you might check with Turner's Warehouse. They might have something that's actually stainless. But you're down in, so have you tried Timber Bits? You know about that one? They're in, I want to say they're in Australia. Something like that. Check them and see if they have anything. Probably be a little bit faster to get coming from Australia. Okay, I think we're good. Let me just stop and take a peek at this, see if there's any serious problems that I'm missing. I don't think so. So I'm going to wipe this down with a little bit of denatured alcohol. Been getting in the habit of doing that more. $13. Is it stainless? Well, then if and then here's the other thing is if Penn State has it, a lot of, you know, chances are Turner's Warehouse has it too. Because Penn State kind of has a lot of things that everybody else carries. Woo, look at that. What do you guys think? It's already looking pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, so let's switch to the wet sanding. I'm going to pull out the 220. And we'll just go up through the grits. Let's see here. Do I have any? Probably don't have any. I don't know if I've ever shown you guys this. Let's have a field trip. We're going to take a field trip. Oh, sorry. Probably shouldn't shake the camera. Probably doesn't work too well for you guys. Trying to get shavings off my tripod. All right, so we're going on a little field trip over to here. So I made this little sandpaper cutting jig doohickey. And it's all it is I just measured for, originally when I made this, I was using sheets with like block sanders on flat work, but you take an old, you could use like a bandsaw blade. This is actually a hacksaw blade. Just mount that kind of flush with the end. I mean, really, you probably don't even need to necessarily mount that, but, and then you got a nice little sandpaper ripper thing. It's pretty nice. So I got some 220 grit. Let's just get everything out here. Is this 400? Yeah, we got some 400. $400, 180. I should really get a sandpaper organizer. I need a 600. I don't have any 600. Let me go to my stash. 600. Where the heck is it? 600. There it is. Ooh, fresh sheet of 600. One tip I will give you. So I use Mirka brand. I've been using Mirka for like 20 years. I started using their products when I was doing just woodworking stuff, and I like it. It's pretty good quality, but definitely get yourself decent quality sandpaper. Don't buy the absolute cheapest thing on the planet. It doesn't work as good, and it's going to end up probably costing the same in the end because you're going to have to go through more of it. But it's going to make your life, they just don't work as well. So that's one area not to skimp on. You know, and it doesn't have to be super expensive. I know Mirka's kind of at the upper end of cost, but you know, a lot of people, you know, Klingspor is a really good brand. I'm going to put you guys over here, see how that works. How about that? Kind of zoom you in. That way the camera doesn't get splashed. All right, so let's see here. Turner's Warehouse has it for $7. Nice. Sweet. Nice hat. Yeah, I got a Turner's Warehouse hat on. What am I trying to do here? All right, so we'll get my ShamWow out. I love that. I specifically went and found these online. Everybody remember the ShamWow commercial? I actually saw that dude. He was doing like a thing at a home show. He was even cooler in person. Very excited about his product. Very excited. Okay, and I need oh man, I gotta go get water, guys. Because this water is funky. Not in a good way. Funkadelic. All right, we got some fresh water. Let's do a little bit of wet sanding. I'm excited to see how this Blurple handle turns out. I think it's going to look pretty cool with this mallet head. Is Yak here? What's up, man? Oh man, Yak is almost ready to set up his streaming stuff. We were talking the other day. I'm very excited. It's going to be very cool once he gets the new shop all up and running, doing some streaming. You guys are going to be in for a treat. All right, so we're starting with 220 with the wet sanding here. Trying to watch out, make sure I'm not getting those threads. A lot of times it's easier to sand on the top. It's one of the, I don't know what I would do if I didn't have reverse on my lathe. It is kind of a luxury item, you know, but man, I would be lost without my reverse. All right, let's dry this guy off, see what we're looking like. Not too shabby. I think we're good. We can move up to 400. I don't know. It's hard. I'm not really. This is really the way that if you really want to see what's going on, it's best to pull out the, one of these lights. But I'm going to move to 400. I think we're good. I'm kind of looking at the scratch pattern there, and it looks pretty good to me, Kind of wipe this off. Get any 220 grit off of there that might have been there. I don't know. You just never know these days. I'm going to actually get you guys a little bit behind me. It's kind of an odd angle, so let's scoot you. Oh, hold on, hold everything. I got cords tangling all over the place. Hold on a minute. Darn cords. Okay, so I want this. Whoa. Sorry. Okay, we're better now. I'm telling you, they really need to come out with a cheap wireless camera system. Let's see what we can do with this little view, kind of over my shoulder. Hopefully that will work that way. Where did my 400 go? Is this it? Where the heck did it go? Oh, in the cup, genius. Here we go. Oh, reverse. We're doing reverse. I'm okay. So Dave was asking about the sandpaper thing. The teeth are up. You want them just kind of even with the edge. You do have to kind of watch out. It's a blade, and I would generally, you probably don't want to use like a 6 TPI blade. You want something with higher tooth count. Generally works better. If you got an old hacksaw blade, that kind of is a really good way to go. Like a kind of an aggressive bandsaw blade, you might get your fingers like that. It's possible to get hurt on a hacksaw blade, but there's so many teeth and they're so small that it's just not like they're sticking out waiting to bite you. Pizza and tea everywhere. She'll be flying across this shop when I swing. No. I'll have to put some grip tape on it. I have to put the grip tape on there. All right, so let's see what that's looking like. Not too bad. There's a couple little dings down in the bottom. I'm going to call that breaking it in. It's broken in already. Let's see, where are we at? 600 grit. Let's do a little bit of 600. Good old sanding. It's everybody's favorite part, right? I am Thor pose. This isn't really a Thor hammer though. This is just kind of like a carving mallet. Actually, I do want to make a kind of like that kind of like the square style, and actually cut the threads in it, so you could just mount it in the jaws, kind of, you know, square and sideways. Eventually, I do want to do that. Maybe even make a silicone mold, so that you can just kind of keep pouring, you know, without having to shape it and cut it and do all that stuff and sand it. Seen the, I don't know, I can't remember who made it, but somebody made a clear one that Illumilite posted a video on, or I don't know, they posted on their social media. Such a cool project. And of course, you know, the silicone molds, if you make something perfect the first time, make a copy of it, then you don't have to do all that sanding again necessarily. All right, I think we're probably pretty good. So I think I'm going to switch up to the Zona papers. Let's dry this thing off here. Take a look at it. See what we're kind of working with. I kind of try and clean these threads out a little bit. Let's see what we got here. So that's looking pretty good, I think. Not bad, not bad. Okay. So, and I gotta go get my, well, yeah, I'm gonna go get a new piece. We got some green, we got some gray, and some blue. And then we'll do a little bit of buffing. All right, so I think this one's around 750 grit or something like that. That's just what I've been kind of assuming so far as I've gone. I tried looking up the like micron levels and converting them to a grit, and according to the chart that I found online, I think that this is about 750 grit on the P scale. That's the other problem, is there's a bunch of different sandpaper grits. There's American, and then I think it's maybe called the European scale, which is the P scale. I think that this is about 750 on the P scale. Yeah, I definitely dig the color of this handle. You can't go wrong with Blurple, I'm telling you. It's definitely one of my favorite color shift powders. I wish I could find some other ones. I've tried a couple different other color shift powders, and I wasn't super thrilled with many of them. But I do think with enough testing, you know, some of the other colors, you know, with this one, adding the purple dye to it, I mean, that's the way to go. Like that it's perfect. You know, that's the whole package. So, you know, with some of the other color shift powders, maybe if you added like, you know, red or black, or, you know, some kind of dye to the mixture, you might get some really cool results. But I just tend to, this one always looks good. So that's why I decided to buy it in bulk, because I didn't want to run out. Whew, that thing's looking pretty good. Okay, so let's wipe this off. Man, do like me some Blurple. Is this the right? No, this isn't the right one. I'm getting some fresh paper out. I bought a whole bunch of Zona. Found a place where you can buy like a pack of 50 sheets of it, and I just said, yep, give me that. So I am good to go for Zona. probably for life. Yeah, you watched a bunch of videos. Yeah, there's not that, you know, I'm really kind of surprised. I don't, maybe you found some more, but you know, Sam's got a few. And I think out of the ones that I found, Sam's were the best, kind of. There were some older ones, random ones that were okay, so. But there wasn't that many. I'm actually kind of surprised at how few people do hand chase threads. Like, I don't know, that's another thing, why I wanted to do this and share it, because it's kind of like, does anybody know about this technique? You know, do people not like it, or do they just not know about it? Because I think it's a kind of a cool thing to be able to do. I don't know, there's just some situations where it would be absolutely perfect. All right, and then I'm just gonna flip up to the blue here. I guess, let me wipe it off. Technically, I probably should. And then it'll be ready for buffing once we part it off, and we're so close, guys. I just need to part this off, buff it, and then let's see what time it is. Yeah, good. I was kind of worried. I don't know. Like I said, lately, like, everything has seemed to take like 10 times as long as I expect or think it should, or it ought to. And so I was like, I'm not even gonna guess how long this stream is gonna go. But it looks like we're doing decent on time right now. So I think we can try and mount the mallet head somehow. Maybe pull out the coal jaws are great. I really like. So they really help out, make things easier to kind of finish things up. Only problem is those things do take a little while to kind of get set up. Longer than the Easy Chuck anyway. Whew, man, that thing's looking like candy. Look at that. Whew. I'm gonna get you guys zoomed in here. This thing is wicked. Hopefully that's coming through decent. I don't know if the colors are really, it looks really good with the water on it. Look at that. Whew. Looks like it's, yeah, no, it looks like it's coming through. The viewfinder, it looks terrible in my little camera viewfinder, but I'm looking on my screen back there, and I think that the colors are coming through right. Yeah, that thing's gonna look great polished. All right, so I'm gonna get you guys kind of out of the way a little bit here. Part this, whoa, zoom out. Part this guy off. I'm just gonna leave the camera here. I think that's probably the best place. Yeah, I think we're pretty much ready for parting. Parting is such sweet sorrow. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with a detail tool before I part it off and just kind of establish, kind of round over the thing a little bit first. I really like, I don't know, I'm a Easy Wood Tools junkie. I'm really digging this new one that I got, the CI4. It's like the mini detailer. I really like the other one as well. I like both of them. There's a use for each one, really. I like having that spear point. You can actually use that as a parting tool. But I kind of like having, I just picked this one up not too long ago because it's kind of got a rounded over tip that you can kind of do weird kind of like rounding over of stuff and do some interesting kind of detail work. Just it's a little bit, seems a little easier with this kind of shorter tool. I don't know. I like tools. 20 to 25. Whoa, I didn't know there was that many. Yeah, I've seen the Alan Batty video. It was old though. It's kind of like, I do appreciate, I like some of the 80s movies, but man, I'll tell you what, you know, compared to the action movies and stuff that we got today, you're kind of watching some of these movies going, wow. I'm trying to be kind of careful here. Obviously I'm pretty close to my chuck. You guys can see what's going on. All right, and then I'm just going to use my thin parting tool. Probably could have done that with the parting tool even, but this thin parting tool, really it's best to just come in and plunge it. You don't really want to be. One problem I have is I have a tendency to bend parting tools because I kind of use the sides of them when they're really meant to be plunged straight in. So, bad habit. I'm going to come up a little bit. I'm going to increase the tailstock, and that thing was kind of chattering a bit. So I'm going to put on the face mask because I don't really want this thing flying and smacking me in the face. Oh, ha! It's going in reverse, guys. I'm an idiot. I'm okay. I was like, why isn't this cutting very well? That's why the detail tool wasn't doing very good. Maybe I shouldn't have reverse because I tend to forget to switch it back. I'm gonna bring the detailer out again. Disclaimer: I am not a professional wood turner. And actually, I gotta drop this down just a little bit. Be coming in on the middle. I need a light. I can't see what I'm doing here. Oh, there we go. Now it's actually cutting. Go figure. All right. Just a little bit of detail. I gotta see what you guys' comments are. Oh, you did try to tell me. Yeah, I can't hear you in the comments, guys. I'm in my shop. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna back this guy out here, and we are close to that chuck. Slow it down just a little bit. Doesn't need to be going 50 billion miles per hour. All right. Works a lot better in forward. Oh, look at that. I even caught it. Woo! I never do that. Not too bad. A lot better than the other one, huh? All right. So with this thing, let's see here. What can we do? I think I could probably just put a little bit of paper around this and grab it in the jaws here, possibly. I don't know what the size is on this. It's not a huge deal. I could even fix that up by hand. But let's see what we can do with the jaws and a little bit of paper towel. A little bit less paper towel. I'll just kind of be careful with this. Doesn't need to be going very fast necessarily or anything. Whoa, that's way off. Let's try and get this thing lined up with the tailstock here. That's pretty close. All I'm going to do is really sand it. I don't even think I'm going to take a tool to it. Just want to kind of hold it in place. I hope that didn't help. That's pretty good. That'll do. That'll do. It's not that big of a deal. If I have to, I can kind of do it by hand anyway. I'm going to take a chisel and just nip that little thing off the end. An easy way to go also for something like this is, and you guys have probably, most of you guys have seen me do it, you can just chuck up a little sanding disc in your either drill chuck, or I usually use a collet, and then just kind of do it like you're holding the piece up to the sander that's moving. That might actually be easier than messing around with this. Let me turn the fan on. But I thought I'd give it a shot. I don't usually do it this way. And it's not like it's not going to go anywhere. That's working okay. Can you guys see what I'm doing? Let's kind of get you guys zoomed. Just a little bit of sanding work here, no big deal. "13-foot storm surge," oh my God. The weather is crazy. Can't just have a pandemic, we gotta have hurricanes and craziness too. This is definitely a year for the history books. Okay, switch to the wet sanding here. So 220. Our little 220 piece out. I'm just going to kind of speed through this. It's just the bottom of it. $600. Okay, I'm going to wipe it off. switch to the Zona. Oh. Oh. Get the gray. And the blue. All right, I'm going to call that good. Okay, so here we go. Let's pop this guy out of here. Hopefully we didn't do any damage to there. I don't think so. It's looking good. I'm going to blow out these threads. I want to keep those looking clean. I'm going to add some wax to those also. So I'm going to put this aside for now, and we're going to switch over. Let's put the coal jaws on. Let's see if we can't get the mallet head held somehow. Clean up the top of that thing real quick. That again, if I'm not really happy with how the coal jaws work, you could come up with some sort of a jam chuck. There's all kinds of different ways you could do things. I'm looking for super easy and fast. So if I don't really come up with something that I really like, I'm just going to put in the sanding disc and just do it by hand, because it'll just be a little bit easier if I'm just not really feeling it with the coal jaws. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. I got some longer ones, some longer little bumpers. I don't know exactly what the best way to orient all this stuff will be. You might have to move those things. That's the one thing, is these are Allen screws on every one, so there's a lot of adjusting sometimes. I'm going to get a piece of, I like the blue towels seem to be a little softer, so I'm just going to grab one of those. Yep, I'm going to need to move those for sure. So let's see here. So we got an Allen key for this. I mean, I can move them in a little bit, but they're still going to be way out there. I've got, how many positions? Only one? I really need to get the smaller set of these, because I kind of got these thinking, I'll just do, like, I can do everything. I don't think this is going to fit, even with moving this one in. I don't know if these are going to fit, really. I'm going to move these two and just kind of see what the diameter is. Oh, is that one already in the middle? I'm already in the... Yeah, this isn't going to work. All right, so I'm just going to chuck up the sander and just kind of do it that way. Like I said, there are ways that you could do this on the lathe, but at least you got to see how these coal jaws work. They're really fast on the easy chuck to take off. Look at that. All right, so let's chuck up the sander. Oh, there goes my face mask. All right, so, and I'm waiting. I want to get the Beal collet I think that'll be a little bit better. But I have kind of a cheap one right now that does the job for minor stuff. I want to get a little bit nicer one, better built one down the road though. I think I've heard good things about the Beal. All right, so I'm going to put a quarter-inch collet in here. Pop that guy in there. Pop that in there. That there. And I got a little sanding disc here, or you know, one of these just normal little pad things with a 1/4-inch stud on it. One of the problems that I have is it didn't come with the stupid wrenches. So so all I can do, I just don't have wrenches on hand. Luckily it works fine for this, but it's really not ideal for serious work. I know, I could probably get the wrenches somewhere, or go buy a big crescent wrench, but I'm stubborn and don't care. Works fine for sanding stuff. All right, so we got a little sanding disc on there. Let's just, we're gonna have to go for a little bit more. Real quick, I'm gonna head over to the disc sander and just get the majority of this stuff sanded off. So I'll just kind of flip you guys around this way. I'll be over there. In an ideal world, I would have made a screw chuck, I think, for this thing. And that would have been really cool, a really cool way to do it. All right, I'm gonna put you on mute too, because I'm gonna turn the dust collector on and it's really loud. Okay, that made quick work of it. Now let's go to this sanding disc and hopefully this thing will make quick work of the top of this also. I'm going to move you guys to the front. Oh, whoa, whoa. Oh. Okay. I gotcha. Whoa. Backwards. Come on. There we go. There we go. What is that noise? Hold on, guys. Oh. I sworn I heard something. That was weird. This little disc is a little bit small for this for this mallet. I think it'll work. I think we'll make it through. This would definitely be easier sanding on the lathe. All right, I think we got it flattened down pretty well. It's looking pretty good. Oh, what's going on here? Not bad. So I'm gonna pull that off. We'll just go through the grit. So that was 180, I think. Yeah, that was 180 grit. Slap a 240 on there. Do the same thing, and I'm just going to do this dry, and it should be okay. And then I'll do a little bit of wet sanding with the Zona papers by hand. I'm just going to give this a couple little scratches here right in the middle, just to make sure we got this all 240. Okay, good to go. Let's go to 400. And we'll be on to the Zona papers. So we're kind of speeding through this. Didn't take all that long. Whoa. All right, I think we're good. Okay, so like I said, we're going to do a little bit of hand sanding with the Zona papers. I'm just going to bring my ShamWow and bucket over here. Do it on the bedways here. Can you guys see what I'm doing? I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. Let's zoom out a little bit and scoot back a little bit. There we go. Hopefully that'll be good. I may need to come back and do a little bit more. I'm not going to scrutinize this thing super crazy right now, but all I'm doing is hand sanding it, so I can just, you know, do a little bit more hand sanding if I need to down the road. Rather just kind of get it close, and then we'll get everything buffed up and see how this project looks. A lot of times I actually find, for some reason, hand sanding like this, sometimes I get better results faster. I don't know why. There's a few things that I could maybe say might be the reason for that, but you know, it's kind of an odd thing. Like, as opposed to just doing it on the lathe. Might be because it's a more random scratch pattern. Could be I don't know, for some reason the pressure is different, better. I'm gonna get a clean paper towel. Never know. Okay, so that's what it's looking like now. We're going to move up to gray, and then we'll do some blue. And I had already buffed the rest of this a little bit with Triple E and white diamond. So that's why the sides of this mallet are a little bit more clear. On the stream, I think I sanded it to about 1,000 grit, and it was pretty hard to see in. So I figured, for picture's sake, probably be better to do a little bit more sanding and polishing. All right, and then we got some blue here coming somewhere. There it is. A little bit of blue. Okay, I'm going to call that good. Wipe this guy off. That's what it's looking like right now. It's getting there. Head over to the buffing machine. The Comet lathe, also known as. Just gonna kind of stick you guys here. I don't know how much battery I got right now. Let's see. Let me just, yeah, no. I need to keep the camera plugged in. So let me move things around like this. Sorry for moving this all over the place, but I'll just kind of stick you guys here. You're not gonna get in on the action necessarily. Usually find the best view is from over here, but I don't have enough power cable for that, unfortunately. So we got the head, and we got the handle ready to go. I'm going to put a dust mask on. I don't want to breathe the buffing rouge dust. Not good for you. I got a little bit of a light here. So I got it going about 1,000, 1,200, somewhere around there. We'll add a little bit of Triple E. It's looking pretty good. I don't know if you can see that, but it's looking good to me, to my eyes. I'm going to do a little bit more work on this. I didn't really give it the full thing. I was just kind of trying to get it a little bit more clear. So I'm going to go for the full treatment now. The other problem was I had it shucked up, and that shuck was so heavy that it was really hard to maneuver this thing on a buffing machine. And I didn't really feel like taking it off the chuck either again. Whoa! That's what happens when you get a little too aggressive. The top, I got the top caught on the wheel. Don't worry. We're all good over here. All right, I think that thing's pretty good. Let's move over to this guy. Let's see, yeah, that's the end. Let's add a little bit more rouge here. This thing's looking pretty good now. We're not even done yet. All right, I think we got that pretty well taken care of. Let's do a little bit of white diamond here. I'm actually going to put some gloves on. I like to get gloves on once I get up to this point because I don't really want the oils mixing in and getting fingerprints all over the place. Whew, it's hot with a mask on in here. Okay. Now, I'm also, one thing that I don't do a lot of times, but I think I'm going to start just to make sure. I'm going to wipe off the blanks at this point, just because there's probably a little bit of triple E residue, and I don't want to mix these wheels, you know. So I'm gonna give it a little bit. I don't know if this is a big deal or not, but let's just do it. Why not? That's looking pretty clear now. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you guys could see that or not, but looking pretty clear from my point of view. All right, we got that guy done. I'm gonna blow it off real quick. It's got some fuzzies from the, whoo, it's pretty glossy. All right, let's move over to this guy. I'm gonna get a little bit more rouge on there. Now I could probably even spend a little bit more time on the buffing wheels here, but I think we're doing pretty good. Get out of my way. All right, we're closing in on the finish line. Woo! Okay, blow this guy off. There's some buffing wheel fuzzies all over it. I'm just gonna stop that. Let's bring you guys over I'm not going to do the car polish step. I'm going to give this a little bit better inspection in a second here, like after the stream. Just make sure that I'm not missing anything. But I think it's actually pretty much good enough right now. The car polish will just make it maybe a little bit glossier. So here we go. Get on camera. Oh, and before I do this, I'm going to put some Renaissance wax. Actually, I was doing a little bit of research into this, and putting a microcrystalline wax on projects at the end might not actually be a bad idea. I've always stayed away from waxes because they can break down easy, and so maybe not for this project specifically, but for pieces that aren't going to be touched a lot. They're more like spheres, you know, and things like that you're going to kind of put on a shelf, and most of the time not really going to be handled. But supposedly microcrystalline wax is good for even like to keep fingerprints, to keep your like fight fingerprints, I guess. So I want to do a little bit more research into this stuff. I've had Renaissance wax forever, but I've only used it for, you know, certain things. Like usually don't put waxes on top of stuff. It's kind of an interesting thing. Another little trick. I don't know if it would really polish things any better, or I don't think it has any abrasive quality to it. So I don't know. That darn internet. You stumble upon something and you have no clue who's even writing the articles or talking about it. So I'm just adding a little bit of wax in here just to make everything look kind of nice. One thing I'm a little disappointed about is I cut deep enough to get actually into the, like, out of the burl. So not a big deal. I mean, I'm not like super disappointed, but I could come back maybe and paint that with a little bit of black, but you know, whatever. I ended up cutting the hole in this really deep just because I didn't want to screw anything up. Ooh, look at that. That is pretty wicked. Fits good. Feels nice. Let me flip the camera thing around here. Look at that. Not a bad little mallet. It's kind of fuzzy. Where's my... Some of that air off of there. I'm digging this. This thing is pretty cool. What do you guys think about that? You guys want to make a mallet? Or are you thinking about doing something like this? I do think I'd like a little bit wider blank so it can kind of flare a little bit more, kind of like this one was. I think I kind of like that a little bit better, having a little bit wider point right there. But I mean, honestly, I think this thing, I think it's sturdy enough to be banging on stuff. You could, you know, use it for like I said, it's like a carving mallet, and just for tapping, you know, carving chisels or something like that. I don't know. Beating your neighbor with? No, I'm just kidding. It's beautiful though. Try and get a shot. There's so much glare. There we go. Look at that. It's like space in there. It's like a space burl. Spacey burl. Blurple. Oh man. I'm pretty happy with this. This turned out good. And one of the nice things about this, so I was saying that, you know, you could just glue in a handle, but here's the deal, guys. I can make 15 different handles if I wanted for this thing, and I can replace them, swap them out. If this ever got damaged, I can swap out the handles. Pretty happy with this. I mean, it's nice and tight. Boom! We did it! Whew. Yeah, the threads aren't too bad. The one thing that I was saying about the threads, I tried re-chucking everything, because one thing that you could do is actually, like I was saying, use threaded chucks, or you could just use your project as a chuck. But these two things were not on the same like path, which either means, it could mean a couple different things, but I have a feeling that my threads, something about my threads was not super awesome. You know, I don't know. They weren't perfect. But, you know, a little bit of practice, and I mean, you know, I don't think it would take a whole lot of practice to get pretty proficient making these things. But I'm not proficient, and this is fine. I mean, this works just fine, you know. So, and here's the thread cutting tool that I got. So I got it at Carter and Son. Not sponsored at all or anything. I paid full price for everything. I was just very interested. I saw this on Sam Angelo's, the Wyoming wood turner, on his channel. Very simple. It's not too expensive either. It's about $95 for this tool, and you can cut the male threads with this side, the female threads with this side. The only other thing that you need to actually cut, and I just made this out of a spade bit. You need a little doohickey that will put an indentation at the end of where you're threading. You need like a void kind of thing. I don't know what you call this. I'll show you guys on the male side. I don't know. See how there's like a little bit of a line there? You need a point where you can get the thread cutting tool to release. Otherwise you run into a shoulder and it'll strip your threads out. So you need to have something that'll cut, you know, some sort of a groove on the outside here, and you also need one on the inside as well. I don't know if you guys can see I don't know if you can see that or not in there, but it's pretty far in there, but there's another groove in there. And so I just took a spade bit and ground the heck out of it so that I can just get in on the insides, and then on the outside I just used that probably 16th inch parting tool. But that's the only other thing that you actually need, and you can make that out of like a screwdriver, an Allen wrench, anything pretty much. Digging the Blurple though. Definitely a good choice for this purple mallet. Boom. All right. Not too bad. 2 hours today, guys. I'm all about the mallets lately too, because we got a brass mallet is going to be Sunday's project also. But yeah, I am very, very happy with this. I think this is exactly what I had in my head. I'm really happy that the thread chasing idea with this project all worked out well on the demo. Again, if you want to see me doing the thread chasing on this, let me switch here. I'll put a link in the show notes for people that are watching the replay also. But here's in the chat, if you want to see the live, it's only an hour long, so it's not as long as some of my live stream replays get. It was kind of more to the point, and it'll show you how I did the steps. Again, I'm not an expert at this at all. I've cut threads 3 times, 4 maybe at this point. So I'm definitely not an expert. I definitely recommend go and check out Sam Angelo, Wyoming wood turner on YouTube. He is a master at doing this. He's the one that I was watching, and he got me kind of excited about getting into this. So check out his videos if you really want to get the nuts and bolts of how do you do this stuff. But if you do want to see this project, the thread cutting for that, you can watch that. And again, don't forget, guys, coming up soon, if you want to make a brass mallet, Stainless Bottle Stoppers is coming out with their kits. Like I said, there's 2 different ones, and I got a video coming out on Sunday making this one. Pretty fun project. These little handles are pretty fun to turn. Pretty simple too, so it's a good project. So let's see. Looks like a frag grenade mallet. Yeah, it's kind of. You know what would be cool is to like carve the like the little bumps on a grenade. That'd be kind of neat to make a grenade mallet. I think that sounds like a really time-consuming and horrible process for me. Someone else can do it though. I think it would be pretty cool. So let's see here. Let's see here. What's going on here? Oh yeah, Becky, that'd be cool. Yeah, I can't wait for you to get your lathe too. It's so fun. There's so many different things that you can make on a lathe. I had been woodworking for probably 10 or 15 years before I got into turning, and I literally specifically did not try turning. It was something that I knew that I would totally be interested in, and I was actually a little bit worried that I would get so interested in turning that I would stop learning how to do flat work and cabinet stuff. So I initially stayed away from it, but then once I dove in, I pretty much don't really do any woodworking at all at this point. There's just so many different things you can make, you know, from bowls to random mallets. You know, if you want to do just wood, the beauty of turning is you can go pick up any kind of chunk of wood and turn it into something, you know, and it doesn't have to cost that much. Then you can get into resins, add a little bit of color and all that kind of stuff. So I hope you get it soon. I hope you get up and running. That's pretty cool. So let's see here. Can you use car wax on wood for gloss? I probably wouldn't. I would go for wax. Just a regular wax on wood. That would probably be a better way to go for that. Go Canucks. Nice. Let's see. I'm just scooting up here. Yeah, the only like, it's not really weather related, I don't think. Yeah, so I saw maybe some people were asking about the car polish. I also have another buffing wheel. I like to actually do it with the buffing wheel. Apply some, it's Meguiar's, no, it's not Meguiar's, is it? Yeah, it is. Meguiar's 105 is what I usually use for it. It's kind of a higher cutting compound. And there's like higher ones. You can look, there's all kinds of different ones. You know, some people actually use like the car polish, where this is more of like a cutting compound, but it is a little higher than the white diamond. So I find that I've gotten pretty good results with this. I think honestly, go pick a couple up and try them out if you got some car polish in your drawer somewhere if you want to use it. But what I did do is I went and got a string buff. It's specifically called a string buff, and it's like super soft, which works well with your really high, what am I trying to say? High grit, I guess, kind of, you know, fine gritted things like a car polish like that. It's a little bit higher. Like wheels kind of match, like even with the other ones. The Triple E wheel is a little bit more aggressive than the white diamond wheel. And you might have seen, I was able to kind of push this and really deform the white diamond wheel. It's because it's softer. The Triple E wheel is a little bit more firm, and the texture of it, it'll cut more. It's more aggressive. And so same idea, I wanted to get the kind of softest wheel possible, and a string buff is the way to go. They have it at Beal.com, so same place that I got the other buffing wheels. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed tonight's live stream. I'm really happy. I wish I could have gotten this thing done on the stream, but you know, the more I think about it, just the sanding and polishing of this thing, I was trying to get away with not doing much, and just that alone just takes so much time, you know, that for an hour-long stream, there was almost no way. I should have really thought about that a little bit more. But happy that this thing came together. I'll get some pictures of it, probably post on Instagram, and yeah, anyway. So on Friday, we're going to do a little bit of resin casting. I'm still not sure what we're going to do, but we'll do some sort of Dunkin' something in resin. So come back for that if you want to do a little bit of resin casting. And then I think that's about it. And like I said, Sunday, I have a video coming, so be looking for that. And actually, I also want to say I decided to try a no music video. I don't really like doing those personally. That's not my kind of style usually, but I know some people like them, so I thought I'd try it out and see how it goes. One of the reasons I don't do, why I have music playing on a lot of my videos is because I listen to music in the shop, and the problem is I can't have that, you know, playing. It would just be a loud song racket in the background anyway, and so I had to really try not to work in silence and just let, you know, like the sounds of making stuff happen. So be looking for that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments of that video, if you kind of liked it or if it kind of sucked, or you know, whichever way you think about it. Let me know after you guys watch it. So anyway, guys, I hope you have a great evening tonight, and tonight is our get some takeout. We don't usually go out anymore because of all the lockdown stuff, but we're gonna get somebody else make food for us tonight, so I'm pretty excited about that. So anyway, I know you guys are like, who cares? But anyway, I hope you have a great evening, and I will see you guys all on Friday. Hold on real quick. I thought I might have seen something. Nope, I didn't see any. All right, have a good evening, guys, and I will see you guys all on Friday.